This is EA Sports coverage of the PGA Tour. Today it's live opening round coverage of the Mountain Shootout. Now back over to the fourth. Early in the round, still holding steady, even par on the day.
Yeah, it's got that feel it could go either way here. Next few holes will probably tell us which way.
That one is bunker bound, it looks like. Just a bit offline and into the bunker. And the tee shot ends up in the bunker. Great professionals, Frank, they don't fear the greenside bunker shot, do they?
No, because you can be as aggressive or as conservative as you want. You actually have far more options. And you don't have to hit the ball first.
Comfortably inside the cut line, the young prodigy makes another birdie. Back on the tee here at Banff Springs, fifth hole, 424-yard par 4. What's the setup here, Frank?
Well, it's very tempting to try and hit a draw because that's the way in which the hole is shaped. But the main goal is to make sure that you can take that second bunker, the one on the left side, out of play with that tee shot. Now, this is not heading in the right direction.
No, it looks like it's going to be in the rough. Well, he pays the price for that.
Yeah, when you don't see the top of the ball in the rough, you know it's not sitting pretty. You need a bit of force to extract one out of there.
And right on 145 yards left to the flagstick. Frank, in the changing weather conditions, players have so many different options, don't they? Some might like to play it high, others might want to play it a little lower along the ground.
Really got to be on your toes today because of that, Rich, and really that's what separates the men from the boys, so to speak. You know that any mistake you make can obviously be magnified by the wind conditions, but conversely, it's a real good chance for skill to shine.
Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on there. Easy birdie.
Frank going for another birdie here.
Chance to get on a real roll.
Frank, he started as a club professional in England. He was a 5 handicap selling candy bars out of the pro shop. It really is hard to believe that he is in this position. He's only a couple of shots back, but when I say this position, I mean his standing in the world of golf.
Yeah, it's gritty to say the least, and that sort of background only makes you tougher, and he displays that right here, center stage.
Just a couple of shots behind.
Oh, if this is up, it's good.
Really good drive here, about 320 yards and straight. Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Frank, obviously way too much club there.
You got to think something like that, or at least misread the wind. This is never going to sit down.
Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
But still not done. A good third shot, maybe get away here with par.
Pretty good shot right there. Locked in on the read and the speed. Well, not in contention, but in for par. Well, Frank, this is the longest hole on the golf course, 602 yards, obviously a par 5, though guys like Rory have to be thinking about making an easy 4, getting home in 2.
Yeah, you referenced it. Longest hole on the golf course. Yet Rory McIlroy still reached it in 2.
Pretty good drive here.
Another straight one.
Frank, this is a place where you can really sort of commune with nature. It's absolutely spectacular out here, isn't it?
I've forgotten how pretty it is. Canada, no disrespect, but, you know, elk, some of the wildlife. The golf course is just beautiful, too. The view, I mean, it's very easy to get distracted.
Didn't cover the flagstick on that one, but on the green, safely, with about 30 feet to go. Frank, I'm not saying he should pull out driver here, but this is a long putt.
Greens are fast, though. You never know. Good line, good pace. Might have a chance.
Oh, I thought he had that. Pretty good stroke right there, just hit it through the break.
Well, it's that sort of distance. If it goes in, it's a bonus.
And now he has this for the birdie. Well, after that birdie, has to be feeling as though they're not out of it just yet.
They're not far away from the first page of the leaderboard. A couple more birdies.
Frank, you like this kind of design feature where you go from the longest hole in the course immediately to the shortest hole.
Certainly, golf giveth and golf taketh away. This is just minimally uphill, just a couple of feet, but you can see from the overview the design of the green. When that flag's on the right, it's a little bit of a longer carry, so just be a little cognizant of that. You don't have to hit it directly at the flag.
That's good stuff right there. Wonderful approach, and now a really good look at birdie. And getting ready for the putt. Well, that would have been a bonus had it gone in, but still, reasonable chance for par here.
Yeah, there's no damage. You're not going to birdie every hole.
Knocks that putt in for par to stay at 3 under. There you have it, Frank. First round is complete. What are your thoughts, partner?
Rich, I think anyone inside the current top 10 of that leaderboard is certainly well placed to go on and take this championship.
This is EA Sports coverage of the PGA Tour. Today it's live second round coverage of the Mountain Shootout. We're off and running here, and let's take you down to the action at hole number 1. Stepping up to the first tee for this second round. Frank, what's the mindset, do you think?
Has to be, hopefully, like yesterday, where they played extremely well. If we get another carbon copy of that, we're in for some real delight. Oh, nice little bounce forward. Should be close to 300, 290.
Frank, now the second shot here at the par 4 opening hole. What are we looking at?
Well, with a short iron in hand, Rich, I mean, you just go flag hunting straight out of the gate. It's a generous green.
Frank, the handicap system in golf really is the great equalizer, isn't it?
Yeah, there's no sport like it. I can't imagine going to Wimbledon and playing, you know, sort of Djokovic or Federer or, you know, playing NFL with Peyton Manning. But, you know, the beauty of golf, we can go out in a golf course. We decide what our handicaps are on the first tee. We decide who's going to get strokes, and then off you go and play. And you play on a level playing field.
Par yesterday, now for birdie. Suddenly a ray of sunshine with that birdie.
There is hope. Now in the top 25.
So, Frank, a par 4 to open, and we back it up with a relatively short par 3.
This green's surrounded by 6 bunkers. Green also shaped slightly towards the player's left, so just keep your eye on that depending on where the flag is.
Should be pretty good right there. On the safe side. Frank, it hit the green, but just didn't have enough backspin.
You wonder what he was thinking on that second shot.
Oh, dude, that in the hole. Tremendous shot. Frank, how about the first par 5 on the golf course here at the third? Just a shade under 530 yards. Good birdie opportunity?
It certainly is. There's 3 bunkers just down that left side. Avoid those, and this par 5, very reachable.
He has given this one the full treatment. Perfect release through the ball. And this shot is on the fairway, over 300 yards. Frank, he could make eagle right here with a really good approach shot.
Yeah, well within his reach, too. And, Rich, if we just sit back and relax here, I think we're going to see perhaps a very good look at eagle coming up.
Into the tall cabbage. That ball is swallowed up. This requires a lot of speed through the ball. And it makes the green in regulation. Birdie putt coming up. Had a par on this hole yesterday. Racking them and stacking them right now. 6 under par for the tournament. Now to another par 3. This is the 4th hole, 192 yards, way down the hill.
It's going to play closer to 170 yards, Rich. You're going to have to reduce that distance by at least a couple of clubs. And consequently, if you hit one hanging up in the air, if you get a breeze that goes through that valley, it's going to start to sort of move that ball around. So just keep your eyes open there where that breeze is coming from. Surely not.
That is an excellent play right there. The approach, giving him another good look. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. So 1 shot closer to the lead with that birdie. Well, again, Frank, we get that good mix of holes here. We've had a couple of par 3s, a short par 5, and that opening par 4. Now at the 5th hole, 424-yard par 4.
The first bunker on the right, not really in play for the good players. Just be a little cognizant of that one on the left side, depending on what club you want to hit off the tee. Ideally, that line is the 3rd bunker, the one in the distance. It's a good line off the tee here.
Good contact, good result. Frank, at a 72-hole stroke play event, do you like birdie fests where, say, 28, 30 under par might win it, or do you like a good old-fashioned grind them out where you might be able to win the championship at, say, 7, 8 under par?
Yeah, I like the latter, really, because I think it tests the mental fortitude. Normally, if people are, in the mid-20s under, the golf course is a little easier. It's a little more forgiving. Greens are flatter and all that. And therefore, I'm not saying it's one-dimensional, but it's closer to that. When you have a good old barn blowing out there with the rough thick and bunkers are difficult and greens are fast and undulating, every part of your game is stressed to the limit. And, sort of 10 under, I always think, is like a really good litmus test for a great tournament.
Looks primed right now.
Anything other than backing up. Very aggressive. That birdie, now in 2nd.
2 rounds in the books, Frank, and a good spot from which to make a move.
Yeah, well positioned. Really, if you're leading, it's a different pressure. Being in the chaser pack there, playing well, what a great position to go into with 2 rounds to go.
Presented by EA Sports and the PGA Tour. Today it's live third round coverage of the Mountain Shootout. Paying attention like a little kid at school, Frank. That baby's sitting up.
Sitting up? It's got the best view as well. You don't even need binoculars from where that ball is.
Well, you have to be thinking about birdie here on this approach shot at the 6th, Frank.
A good aggressive tee shot, pretty close to the narrow neck of that green. Awkward, whether you try and hit a little pitch and run or try and hit a lofted wedge and sort of pitch that ball a little closer to the hole. Rich, these winds haven't subsided at all today. It's certainly a tough test out there right now for these players.
They get your attention, don't they, as a player?
They have club selection right now, vital.
You put the ball back in your stance just a little bit.
If you're going to hit it down.
So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now I'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. Let's see if he does it here.
And Frank, that steady play continues.
Rock solid. Excellent approach shot.
Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Frank, you can see by the reaction, it has been that kind of week. Just a few too many pars. Now to the second par 5 on this opening 9. Frank, this is a pretty long hole, 602 yards.
Well, it's called hoodoo. Do you know what hoodoo means? It means bad luck, actually, so you don't really want to be thinking about that on this tee shot. 602 yards, if you belt one off the tee, well, you might avoid the bad luck.
Frank, they say you have to ride the wind. Boy, he got all of that one.
Got every ounce out of the conditions.
Now the second shot to the par 5. Frank made this hole just a little bit harder, hitting it into the rough.
I would say a lot harder.
He'll need to be strong with this.
Great shot out of the rough. He avoided all the troubles just to get that on the green.
That was not an easy shot. He'll settle. Made a par in his previous round. This time, it's for birdie. Really hitting on all cylinders now. 9 under for the tournament. Now to hole number 8. It's another par 3 with some water. Frank, only 150 yards. This is the shortest hole in the golf course.
But distance control is still very important here. If you can get the right distance, you could perhaps aim 10 or 15 feet left of the flag. You're only going to have a 10 or 15 foot putt. So just think of that. Water on the right there, and maybe just aim a little further to the left. You can still make birdie.
Well, this one should be safely on deck here. Frank missed the green off the tee.
Yeah, but this is certainly a tricky little shot coming up here at the par 3.
These are the kind of putts that keep a round going about 10 feet away for par. Settles in over the putt. That is a solid par putt right there. So we'll round out the front side here at Banff Springs with a par 5 and reasonably short at only 501 yards.
So very reachable because of that yardage that you just referenced. Hole bends a little bit to the right. You can favor the left side with a tee shot. It's just going to make that angle on the second a little bit easier. Oh, that's fine.
Frank, can you recall a situation where before an important round, an instructor gave you one small tweak, maybe flare your left toe out, or just shift a little bit of the weight onto the back foot, where the instructor gave you that one small bit of advice and it made a huge difference?
Yeah, the list is too long, Rich, and it's normally just someone that you've trusted over the years, and we all make just little bad habits. Sometimes you're stooped over a little bit more than normal. You're not standing tall enough. The ball is too far back in your stance or too far forward. You're making a funny little move, or your grip is different. It's always the little things that add up to the big problem.
Well, too bad. He'll have to play from the bunker. Well, in the sand, but it has been raked nicely, looking for something positive. Birdie try up next. Just a couple of feet.
All things pointed to a good week. Birdie there, very important right now.
Playing some good golf. Well, that was a nearly flawless performance on the front side, but Frank, we know it's an 18-hole game, isn't it?
That's right. Now's not the time to pat yourself on the back.
Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid.
I think if we stretch the tape, Rich, we might get to 29 feet.
Boy, this could be a tough one right here, Frank.
It's a very long putt, Rich. Obviously, it's difficult, but he still has a shot to sink this one for birdie.
You couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. Locked in on the read and the speed. That's a nice confidence builder right there. You make those for par, and you keep things steady. So off the long par 3 10th, we are at the 11th hole, 417-yard par 4, Frank.
It looks like a straightaway par 4, Rich, but if anything, the hole actually bends to the left, and you really want to follow that natural contour of that. Just sort of draw it off those bunkers on the right, or just simply carry it over the ones on the left. But ideally, down the left side, it avoids that pine tree that's further down.
I mean, he just blasted it down the fairway, well over 325 yards. Frank's second shot here at 11 is pretty short, but it can be tricky.
It can. The various different levels. The highest point on the green is that back left. It does roll down to that right side, and then, of course, there's the front portion in the middle. So you've got to be just cognizant of trying to fly the ball the right distance. But when that flag is in the back left, to err a little on the left side, not such a bad thing.
Early part of this back nine and a good approach shot. Now we'll have this for birdie.
It's no snack, though.
No doubt about that one. That was struck with confidence. Frank, that was just a dazzling display of golf today.
It's amazing how a game at times it can be so hard and just absolutely drive you crazy can appear to be so simple. This was just an absolute joy to watch today.
So that'll do it for Frank Novello and our entire team. I'm Rich Lerner. Until next time. Coverage coming your way is presented by EA Sports and the PGA Tour. Today, it's the final round of the Mountain Shootout. Thirteenth hole, par 3, 225 yards and heavily bunkered around that green, Frank.
It is, but that green gets narrower as the hole gets longer. Nothing wrong with hitting the ball sort of the middle part of the green here.
Seems to like it. Headed for the fat part of the green. Well, that's how you play the game right there. Knock it on the green and give yourself a good look at birdie. See if he can go one better than yesterday when he made par. This putt for birdie. Starting to move now, Frank, on this leaderboard.
Certainly going all in the positive direction. He was in the middle of the pack, now top 15.
Pretty good drive here.
Another straight one.
Good strike, good lie, good chance to attack the pin. Frank, why are great rivalries so important? Why do we love them?
I think because people like to sit on one side of the fence. You're either for or against a great player. And I think we see that today with Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy. There's the McIlroy fans that think his future is so bright. There's the Woods fans that still want him to pass Jack Nicklaus's record. That's the beauty. You've got to have an opinion, and you have to have a player.
Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
What a nice shot. Right on the green and a pretty easy putt on the way. Frank going for 2 in a row now. Starting to move on this leaderboard now, Frank.
It's got a nice look to it. Another who's who.
Frank, looking out here on the 15th hole, this looks like a spot where you could really crank one that you could tell your buddies about.
It's another hole that suits a player that hits the ball right to left. It's no surprise to see why Rory McIlroy plays well around here. Nice, big, high towering draw. It's going to go that extra yardage because of the elevation. I'm loving that balance.
You got every bit of that one. Let it all go. A drive of better than 315 yards. Wow. Frank, this second shot to the par 4 15th is what you might call a professional's shot. Explain why.
Yeah, there's always an advantage if a better player can shape a shot. So you have a long second shot, but just the way this green is, notice there's a slightly better entry from the left side. So the better player would try and hit a little fade in there. That's what might appear. That might appear the safest shot coming in, but it's going to actually give you the best chance of hitting it close. General run-of-the-mill shot, sometimes if you just bash it away over that right bunker, but it's not really the way in which that hole's designed. Oh, nice strike, Rich. Not quite directly in line with the flag.
Just drifting a bit to the right, but he'll settle. Up to the 15th green, but looking at a tough putt, considerably long, over 25 feet away. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. It's a good-looking putt right here. You might like it. Sinks it.
Unbelievable.
Frank, the 16th hole, 414 yards, par 4, is nicknamed GOAT. Would that be greatest of all time, or is it just because the possibility you could see old Billy out there here in the Canadian Rockies?
I'd like to think it's the greatest of all time. I've never seen a GOAT hit a draw, that's why, and that's what's needed off this tee once again. The first bunkie should easily be able to carry that, and, well, if you're the greatest of all time, this is a fairway, you'll certainly hit.
Good contact, good result. Officials are calling that one around 310 yards. Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Should be pretty good right there. On the safe side. Well, that is an exceptional shot on the green and in position for a birdie.
Yeah, it's a formality now.
So a tester from 4 feet. Oh, yeah, birdie, Frank, and another shot closer.
Sniffing in the right direction.
Just 2 holes left here at Banff Springs, and Frank, another par 4. This one, short, 374 yards.
It is. It's named Sarsi, which is a tribute to the Indian tribes here and the First Nations of Canada. So just think about that when you're teeing it off here on what is not an overly difficult par 4.
Coming down the home stretch here at the 17th, set up well for a chance to go after this flagstick. Frank, how about the second shot now to the 17th?
Well, the nice layback off the tee means you have a full shot in. You can go at virtually any flag now.
Not terrible, but not his best.
Yeah, outside chance, really, for birdie, but really, it was a rather poor approach shot.
Needs a pair of binoculars to see the hole. Well, that was a good-looking putt, just not falling right now.
No, sadly, he's going to be disappointed.
This one just requires a little bit of focus. That's a solid par. Still in it, Frank. Well, Frank, this sets up for an exciting finish here at Banff Springs, a 578-yard par 5.
There's just about a bunker in play for every length of tee shot here, so know exactly which one you can carry and exactly which one you cannot reach.
Playing his second shot here at the par 5. Frank couldn't ask for anything more.
Just the lie there, too. It is sitting up like it's teed up.
Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Oh, it looked like he caught a flyer right there, Frank.
Well, I don't know what he caught, but this is way too much.
Wow, lucky break right there, Frank.
Well, that's what everyone else is going to say, except him.
Par yesterday, now for birdie. Just to put it together right now, Frank.
Join that trio at the top.
Frank, just some great golf here today.
Yeah, that's a round to remember. Not often you play that well and you feel like you were head and shoulders above the rest of the field.
What a thrill to watch. And for Frank Nobilo and our entire team, I'm Rich Lerner saying so long for now. EA Sports and the PGA of America are proud to present opening round coverage of the PGA Championship. Let's go down to the 11th. Nothing noteworthy here in the first round, Frank, but still plenty of golf to be played.
That's right, Rich. A little bit of a dry spell, but really not a lot of damage done.
That's in the fairway. Frank, straight uphill with this approach shot, what do you have to factor in terms of club selection and setup over the ball?
Well, you're going to have to take at least an extra club to make up for that added elevation. And also, it's tougher to get onto that front foot.
This one looks like it's headed right for the middle of the dance floor, Frank.
Rather nice shot, I'd say.
Chance for birdie after that beautiful shot. Boy, this could be a tough one right here, Frank.
It's a very long putt, Rich. Obviously, it's difficult, but he still has a shot to sink this one for birdie.
Frank, that's what you want to do. Good lag putt.
Yeah, they can't all go in.
A makeable putt right here. He is currently sitting at 1 under par.
That was cruel. That looked like it was certainly going in.